Alright, let's get to it. Where do we begin?
Is the guy maybe a little bit of a dirtbag? Is he a little bit of a sleazeball? Maybe a tad bit insecure? Kind of like he's always a little bit overcompensating, a bit of a knucklehead, maybe just sort of that mix between jester meets jock. Yeah, a little bit of all those things. But at the end of the day, I'm not so sure I'm convinced he's necessarily the bad guy, just a bad man. And I just don't see it. I could be wrong, I guess, I suppose. Does that happen often? Not really ever, but it's possible. But Brendan getting all the hate all the time, it is a bit shocking because Callen somehow just skates by. No one really rags on him. Like occasionally it's like, oh, look how dumb Brian is too, but I'm thinking his ass should look like raw hamburger meat, and frankly it doesn't.
It's also not fair just to pick on Brendan because he's stupid.
That's it. But they tear apart Brendan for being the biggest douchebag in the world. It's like, yeah, he's a douchebag, but is that really that much of a crime?
It wasn't always.
He's like kind of just an idiot. And I don't understand why everyone's like, oh my gosh, fuck this guy.
He just wants to be the cool guy in the room. Cut the guy a little bit of slack.
Yeah, I know. And it's like, shouldn't you, at some point, don't you feel a little bad for him? It's kind of like a sick little puppy, you know? You're like, oh, it's so helpless. Doesn't know what he's doing. We're getting so angry because we expect that, you know, we're, what's it called when you humanize? Like, anthropomorphize?
Yeah.
It's like we're expecting him to act like a full boy. It's like he's really Pinocchio, you know? We're mad at Bappa for like wanting to have sex with Amy Letterman.
I don't know if I could be mad at
Well, yeah, shit. I guess you should all be fucking furious with me. Yeah, be mad at Robbie. Be mad at me. She's like that. She's very attractive, you know. She's kind of like that whole Jersey Jewish girl thing. Now, I have no idea if she's from Jersey or even the Northeast, and I don't even know if she's Jewish. But she kind of has that way about her just a little bit, you know.
She's got that Jersey kind of sound.
She's like that chewing gum kind of voice.
Mm-hmm.
It works for a lot of guys. I'm a fan of it. Brendan Schaub's apparently a fan of it. We could bond over that. Brendan Schaub's definitely the kind of guy you can just talk chicks about with. Say, oh my god, you know who's hot? And be like, oh my god, she's killer, bro. You know who's hot? Yo, Whitney, dicey.
Remember when we talked about all those comedians we were gonna do, like if we had to do an Airbnb with one of them? Did we ever bring up Brendan Schaub?
I don't know.
Because I think he'd probably be, honestly,
I think we probably did, and I'm gonna assume we gave him a negative grade because I feel like there's maybe a chance we bulked him in with Brian Callen.
Yeah, right, because you can't go with one without the other.
Yeah, unfortunately. Even though Brendan Schaub, someone should tell him, man. I think, honestly, if you cut ties with Chris D'Elia, whatever that fat guy's name is, who looks like Mr. Potato Head, and Brian Callen, if you cut those three guys out of your life, I think you'd be doing better.
But honestly, how do you think it is probably hanging out with Brendan Schaub outside of all of it? He's probably, is what you just said. She's hot, dude.
No, she's hot. You don't think it'd be a good time? You tell me you'd rather like hang out with Brian Callen in a book club than go to Buffalo Wild Wings with Brendan Schaub and look at him flirt with a hot waitress? Brendan Schaub's the kind of guy who takes out his wedding ring and puts it in his pocket saying, hey, I'm not married today, okay? And he walks in backwards to the building.
He just likes to party.
He just likes to party. He's hopeless. He's a helpless guy. He's, you know, and everyone they expect the world out of him. They expect Brendan Schaub to be the Superman.
That's unfair to expect of anybody. He's only human.
So, yeah, he wanted to bang Amy Letterman. I'm so sorry. Oh, my God, yeah. You know, you want me to walk you to your truck so I can blow you? She's the star between, you know, the Bozos on that Trash Tuesday podcast. I'm not sure if it's. I'm pretty sure they ended that.
I think so.
I think she realized that, you know, with Esther and Bobby Lee's cyst, she was like, yeah, I can do better than this. They shouldn't even be allowed to sit in the same room as me. And that is much more of an insult to them than it is a compliment to her. Don't want there to be any confusion. I don't want somebody like, damn, he's really sucking up to her. No. I'm really, really driving home how terrible the other two girls are, much more than I'm like praising her here. I'm not asking her to walk to my car. I wouldn't use that line purpose. You know, I would
say
even.
You want to walk to your car.
Yeah, exactly. Like, hey, let me walk you to your car, and I'll blow you.
Exactly.
And she's like, "Wow, a gentleman." Okay.
They say Shirley's dead.
Very different. Yeah, different thing. You could either do the Brendan Schaub way, where you hear "walk you to your car so I can blow you," or it's he walking me in my car so he could blow me. It's a very different outcome.
Yeah, that's the way you come out the hero. Really.
And I'm the hero who gave head.
Dude, he should start wearing the suit, man. That's
like, dude, yeah. So what? Sometimes we blow each other. Sometimes, what's the problem? But you do know, for a singular second at the very least, she definitely considered the trug walk, at least for a moment. You know, this is like relatively still in shape, not too bloated in the face, Brendan Schaub.
Yeah, this is an old school.
This is like, wow, this guy's actually kind of fucking successful, Brendan Schaub. This isn't that new school Brendan Schaub. This is that old school Brendan Schaub.
I said the line wrong again.
And, you know, he's a bit of a sweetheart. I mean, he got into Whitney Cummings' jeans, for Christ's sake. And we all know that's like fucking Fort Knox with, you know, the princess of promiscuity.
And if that doesn't mark him as a superhero, then I don't know what does.
Yeah, that's something every kid can look up to. As far as, you know, the guy is a comic book fan. I read tons of comic books where everyone's like, oh my God, one day I'm going to fuck Whitney Cummings. And everyone's like, holy shit, he actually did it. Brendan Schaub is the main character.
Dude, I would definitely read his comic book.
I'd read the comic adventures of Brendan Schaub. He should honestly pivot to that. Stand-up comedy didn't work. Maybe he'd be a great comic writer, though.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, that's what the show. Yeah, that's what the show. Last Comic Standing was about, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was about two comic strip.
Yeah,
writers.
Brendan. It was about comic book artists. He's like, yeah, they should bring that back. You know, I love comics, right? I'm also sure.
That blew my mind.
Huh?
That blew my mind.
That Brendan Schaub's a comic book fan,
And he actually knew what he was talking about.
He actually knew what he was talking about. It's kind of awesome.
We saw that jerk-off guy say how much of an idiot he was for trying to defend it. No, that's another reason why he's a superhero.
Yeah.
He's fighting for what he believes in, man.
And like, how did you guys didn't know about all those crossovers Marvel used to do with DC? I thought everyone knew about that. That's common knowledge. I didn't realize that Brendan Schaub is the smartest guy in the room.
Apparently he is.
He has the largest cock and the biggest brain. That's hard to come by. Most men walk in the room with the smallest stick and the smallest brain.
Or one or the other.
And they wonder why Brendan Schaub just oozes confidence the way he does. Imagine not having to have any, you know, sense of, am I good enough ever? You're just amazing at everything. You're a great boxer. You're a great sports commentator. You're a great talker. So eloquent. 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 It's one of those three, I'm sure. But she definitely considered it. You know, Amy Letterman, she made fun of Brendan Schaub, but for a split second, it crossed her mind. The same way I'm sure if Joe Rogan had asked Amy Letterman to be like, walk me to my car, she at the very least would have thought about it for a second. It would have crossed her mind. It's Joe Rogan, you know? No one really knows anything about what his marriage is actually like. We all just kind of hear things about how, yeah, she enters the building 20 minutes before he gets there. She leaves 20 minutes before he leaves. They sit at opposite tables. They don't talk to each other. They don't look at each other. It's a whole covert operation.
Joe Rogan's wife is kind of like the Jim Ross's comedy legend.
I knew you were doing that, yeah.
It never fucking existed.
And by legend, I mean myth, because no one's ever seen it. And yeah, Joe Rogan has, you know, $700 billion, but he's, you know, a lot of short and a lot of wide.
That's true. Big Boppa's tall.
And that whole fucking fourth Wright versus Reich debacle. Remember that?
Yeah, I do.
Dude, if I ever looked too dumb to understand what the pretty blonde female comedian in front of me is saying, show's over, I'm finished.
But like, also, dude, that's not live.
I know, why not cut it out and just save yourself the torture? Because he's a fucking, he's that much of a megalomaniac. He doesn't. He's that. Joe Rogan's ego has swelled so much past his God-given size.
That's why he's widening out.
That he's just. It's actually not the whole. Yeah, there's no HRT. It's actually just his ego is stretching him. He's becoming bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Soon his knuckles will actually drag on the floor. And at that point, the podcast will reach 500 billion monthly listeners. When Joe Rogan is inevitably the first intergalactic podcast.
Experience.
Train by day, Joe Rogan podcast by night, all day.
Edit itself out. Pull that part up. Put that part after Lois and the name so the words correct. Let's just have it in the background. The music actually playing for a second. I was like, wow, that's a perfect impression. Oh! And God forbid I'd have to then have young Jamie look up what Reich means. Jesus Christ. Okay, I would suffer from never-ending ED after that emasculation. She makes the most harmless right versus Reich joke, and Joe Rogan's like, let's break out the encyclopedia. Let's get to the bottom of this, you comedy genius, you.
Well, the problem is because he has the comedian's brain, as you pointed out. He has to dissect the joke to truly understand the joke. And
yes, it's like when Neil deGrasse Tyson, you talk about something vaguely scientific, and he's like, oh my fucking God, you know what, actually, the thing that's funny about that, well, he breaks into it.
Well, that's a good point. Scientists dissect things.
Actually, believe it or not, I do trust Brendan Schaub's ability to talk to women a lot more than I trust Joe Rogan's.
Well, considering Joe Rogan, you know, what does every woman on the planet say they want in a guy?
Someone who's tall.
You make me laugh.
Oh.
Joe Rogan's over too. Have a conversation with a pretty girl, let alone make her laugh.
If it's not
she tried making him laugh and he didn't get it.
I was going to say, it's like, unless you're talking about Joe, but it's like Joe Rogan doesn't even want to have a conversation about the things he likes. Joe Rogan wants to just go over the same talking points of the things he likes. He doesn't actually want to have someone on talk about new stuff about bears. No. He wants to talk about the video of the bear he saw already. And he doesn't want to talk about, you know, what's going on in fucking Syria. He's like, no. I want to talk about, remember last time we talked about JFK? I want to talk about JFK again.
Remember that time when, I don't know if you know, I sat on the plane with Norm once?
Oh my God,
actually, happened twice, actually. Crazy thing. We both sat next to each other on the plane. I'm not gonna go through the whole bit. You know the bit. I'm not gonna waste everyone's time.
I'm not gonna waste everyone's time.
Okay.
Joe, you realize that was a joke, right, Joe? Like, he wasn't actually quitting smoking? No, he said he was done smoking, then I saw him smoke. Do you ever see him smoke after that? Tons of times.
You know, it's actually... It's actually good we brought up Joe Rogan because it actually proves how Brendan Schaub's not the dumbest person in the world.
Because Joe Rogan's the dumbest person in the world.
Because Joe Rogan, you said he somehow understands that comedy is a concept that exists where people aren't necessarily telling the truth.
Right.
But he can never seem to tell the difference in person.
Well, he's like, guys, if Norm was joking, then why wasn't he on a stage holding a microphone?
Yeah, so...
We were in an airport. How many times have you bought a comedy ticket to a comedy show and found yourself in the middle of JFK?
That's my point. At least Brendan Schaub kind of...
I don't recall seeing George Carlin perform at LaGuardia. Okay, guys? And I don't think Schaub is necessarily smooth, but I think he at least does put up a front when talking to women. Like, he tries to turn on the charm. And I think Joe Rogan's more similar to, like, the kid who's talking to the adults about, like, his favorite dinosaur. So, yeah, he may have more opportunities.
I don't know. The Velociraptor is pretty cool, but the Pterodactyl is my favorite, personally.
No, because that's not Joe Rogan, because that would give the person an opportunity to respond accordingly, where they could say, I don't know, Joe, I actually really do like the Velociraptor, but the Pterodactyl, I mean, it's close. And then he'd be like, wait, no, I talk. He'd be like, So, like I was saying, hey, Jamie, can you just also look up, and then, no, I know that those results aren't vindicating what I'm saying, but can you just, like, find the ones that do say that I'm right, please? Thank you. We'll get back to that. Keep looking. And he may, Joe Rogan may have more opportunities and an easier time doing so if he chooses to try to hook up with a girl because of who he is, but if you put Joe and Brendan in the same bar with $20 to their name, I think Schaub is fucking a certifiable 6, and Joe's probably fucking his hand.
Well, at least he has $20 in the night. Brendan probably suspended on the date.
And Joe Rogan, he doesn't know that Dr. Doom fought Superman once. Brendan Schaub not only knows that he fought Dr. Doom and Superman had a fight, he's well aware that it happened multiple times. He knows what issues it came in. Oh, that's from like 1941. No, I have a different issue. That's a classic crossover event. It stands. I can see the cover of my head. It's when he's getting punched, and everyone's like, "Dude, you're such an idiot." That's Marvel and DC. That's Marvel and DC. You idiot. You're so dumb. You're so dumb, Brendan Schaub. Why is Brendan dumb? You're such an idiot, dude.
Even though he was completely right, and everyone else who complained and said that otherwise was obviously wrong, it is a little odd to say, yeah, Dr. Doom's the Superman guy from those couple of crossovers rather than the main staple of villain.
Who the hell reads Fantastic Four comics, dude?
Enough people that are making another movie about it.
No, dude. I disagree. I'm on Team Schaub right now.
I'm still on Team Schaub.
You're apparently Team Brian Callen.
You know what? A real friend points out a couple of flaws in the argument. They don't just keep blowing
No,
smoke
a real
up his ass.
friend knows that between the two of them, okay, it's about balance, okay? You're trying to be like the middleman saying Schaub's okay, Schaub's okay. If you're saying Schaub's okay, that means the balance is that Brian Callen's okay, and Brian Callen is a goddamn monster. So that means we have to praise Brendan Schaub to the point of actual believing he is a god, so we can condemn and damn Brian Callen to being the devil that he is.
I don't know if both those extremes need to be adhered
The
to.
only way to
for it
operate is an extreme polarizing sides. There is no room for the middle ground.
You're right, I'm sorry.
And everyone just hates Schaub with such a passion like you, and they give passes to Brian Callen. Okay, I'm sick of it. Okay, it's like Schaub, I think, is kind of just having fun. I think he's a little delusionally content most of the time. But Callen, even his breathing doesn't seem genuine to me, okay? I think he's conscious of that the whole entire time. Like, oh, how will it look if I'm puffing my chest on camera? Am I raising it too much? Will they hear my breath in the audio? You think I care if someone hears me inhaling? I don't give a shit at all, okay? I don't think Brian Callen does. Brian Callen burps, shits himself. Sorry. I don't think Brendan Schaub cares. Brendan Schaub is willing to fucking shit himself, burp himself, fuck himself, cum himself, and everything else in the spot. He doesn't care if it's on camera. He'll do anything. You know for a fact that Brian Callen is constantly and consciously thinking about his posture, about where his hands are, if his legs should be crossed, what that means if his legs are crossed. What if he accidentally has his leg crossed over his leg opposed to having it rest on his knee, where now it's like more feminine instead of masculine, and he's not a true mon. Okay, Brian Callen is undeniably the worst of two evils. And like I said earlier, Brendan Schaub's not even evil, okay? He's just a fucking dumb idiot. He's a dumb fucking moron, and we're putting vast, weight on his shoulders. He's just such a fucking phony, Brian Callen. And the best part is, I don't even think that this will burn the bridge, because I kind of feel like with Schaub, he could be friends with us if we hated Callen. But I don't think Bryan Callen's capable of being friends with us because Bryan Callen is just the walking embodiment of dude. You can say whatever the fuck you want about me. If you talk about my friends or my family, I'll fucking kill you. Okay, he's that guy to a T. In his medium, he's a fucking loser. He's a zero.
That is the most accurate
Okay, change
way
the
anyone's ever been
name.
described.
Instead of the fire and the kid, it's the zero and the hero, okay? Because the fire and the kid's confusing because both of those, nicknames and monikers seem exclusively to fit Brendan Schaub and not Bryan Callen. Maybe you called it the guy who has a little charisma and the fucking bottomless pit loser. So they got the little charisma, Brendan Schaub, and the fucking zero. Okay, that's Bryan. Got it. Okay.
Well, maybe actually it should continue being called.
Do you think Bryan Callen's mom's gonna call him complaining and crying about there's these two guys in North Jersey who are making fun of you, like really saying you're a piece of shit loser?
Well, the reason it's actually called The Fire and the Kid is like you said, they both apply to Brendan Schaub. So he wants to Brian doesn't matter whatsoever.
Yeah, exactly.
The show's about me and me.
There's the Brendan Schaub show, but then there's also The Fire and the Kid, which is just Brendan Schaub.
Yeah, I'm the fire and the kid. The bee and the sting. I'm the bee and I sting you.
Yeah, I'm the bee and I'm the sting.
The golden hour, it's my fucking
It's my
hour.
golden hour. That's why I sit in the middle, and that fat idiot to my left doesn't do anything except for beg for money on TikTok or whatever the hell he does. Was that him? He was begging for money on something, all right? I don't have all the facts in front of me. Okay, I can't have Jules pull it up right now. But Eric Griffin was begging for something.
Even if we had Jules to pull it up, she wouldn't pull it up.
Yeah,
she'd
have the wrong clip. She'd be like, wait, did you want the thing with the topic you weren't talking about? I'm like,
yes,
God
please.
damn it. No, I want what I'm talking about for once when I ask about it. I don't want to ask 30 times for the same fucking clip for you to say, I think it's on top of the page. It's not on the top of the page. I'm looking at it. Is it your email or my email? God damn it.
You're so cute.
You're so fucking cute. But I think Schaub could handle being friends with us, insulting Bryan Callen. I don't think Bryan Callen could do it. He's just too much of the whole,
He's too much of a mon for us.
He's too much of a mon, And Podcast Cringe has it entirely wrong. Podcast Cringe, the second worst of the three eyes of YouTube. And the drop-off from Too Lazy to Try to Podcast Cringe is the difference between the peaks of Everest and the depths of the Mariana Trench. And yes, for the really observant and keen listener, comedy enforcement is actually even worse than Podcast Cringe. You can really understand the magnitudes we're working with here. Then again, maybe if Brendan just stopped talking, to play devil's advocate, maybe if Brendan just stopped talking about like being a dad and playing like this whole American badass dad guy, cool guy, car guy, awesome fucking cool husband, sick guy, bro thing he was doing.
Dude, having kids changes you, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like none of these guys seem to realize that they could act however they actually wanted if they just chose to fully commit to it. Like all of these guys who were, I don't know, anywhere from the age of like 37 to 52 in comedy right now, who are all like really struggling to like, I don't know, exist, right? Be people. That's where the scary part. They're struggling to be people. They're so tied up in this like whole, recording weird things with Chris D'Elia and like hanging out with Chris D'Elia and like talking to Chris D'Elia. All this weird nonsense like that. They're spending so much time with that they can't seem to figure anything out. And I just think if Brendan Schaub just started dressing kind of cool and not like a total jerk off, like if he got rid of the whole caps and the baseball tees and like, wearing clothes too small for his God-given proportions, right? And maybe laid off like whatever the hell else he's doing to make himself look worse and worse every time I see him. If he just like really took a step back and stopped trying to look disgusting and like started maybe thinking, all right, what if I spend less time on cars and trucks and I just maybe get a good wardrobe? Maybe start to dress to impress and dress for success instead of like a fucking idiot.
That's his
like
next,
Euro trash.
That's his next venture. It's gonna be him going into fashion.
Into fashion? No. I think he should just commit to like dressing kind of cool. Like you could kind of be the cool guy like in the club where it's like, damn, yeah, it's. Think about the scene in the movie where like the 20-something-year-old girl is in the nightclub and like it's a bunch of dumb 20-something-year-old guys. So she goes talks to some 40-year-old man who's like really interesting and cool, but he's actually a loser who's going to be terrible for her. But since she's like a dumb 20-year-old girl, she's like, no, it's not a red flag that women his age don't want him. It's totally unique and makes sense for me because I'm just so mature.
Exactly.
Which again, it's like, you guys know, for the ladies listening, when men go out with older women, they do know it's a problem that they like younger men. They just brush it off. That's why they're never as heartbroken. The problem is you guys are like, no, this is normal.
It's not.
It's totally normal that this 43-year-old man shares the same sensibilities as me, the 21-year-old woman. It's like, isn't his daughter 17?
That's why he's so in tune.
But I think if Brendan Schaub just, really committed to the whole, yeah, I love fucking JRE Fallout pussy, and, all I love more than crack is crack whores. I think if he really committed to that mantra, I think we'd all start to embrace his character.
That's such a good point.
Because you can't cheat on your wife and then play American Dad, but you can cheat on your wife if you just don't do the second part. Like, do you know how many celebrities cheat on their wives and no one's like, yeah, they're rich and famous, I guess. Hey, you know, Hollywood's crazy, man. Hollywood's a crazy place. Holly weird, am I right? Like, you're able to do it. I don't understand, that got lost among celebrities too. Like, you're able to do shitty things.
Maybe it's that whole pseudo-celebrity thing, that whole group.
Yeah, the whole pseudo-celebrity thing and the whole, like, you know, being an activist thing and everything else and having the moral high ground. It's like, if you want to be like a shitty drug addict who's just fucking and moving around, you're able to do that if you're a Hollywood actor or a celebrity.
Why are you trying to be a comedian? That's half the job, dude.
Yeah, exactly. It's like Brayden Schaub. Just stop lying. Bert, specifically, stop lying about having an alcohol dependency and start embracing your alcohol dependency. Everyone's like, dude, Bert kicks ass. Yeah, he isn't it. We're going to know that you keep saying you're not an alcoholic. Just be an alcoholic and be a functioning one. You're already doing half of it. You're being the functioning alcoholic. Commit to being the functioning alcoholic and stop being like, oh, I have to work on my health. I am the machine.
Dude, just have some fruit once in a while. You're fine.
Yeah, who cares? And also, what really, like, you've already made it very clear you don't care about anything. Just fucking stop worrying.
You know what the problem is, actually?
What?
Bert cares a lot, because he realizes he's not actually as cool as Brendan Schaub. So he's trying to act like he's as cool as
maybe I was too harsh on Bryan Callen earlier. Maybe I owe his mother an apology.
Yeah,
she's like, you know, I heard these two boys, and they're saying awfully mean things about you. Also, how is realistically, come on, how is Bryan Callen's mom even alive still, okay? How is she even in the opportunity to listen to Tully's to try his video? Okay, isn't Bryan Callen like 64 years old? Are his parents, is it his dad Kirk Douglas? I actually really fucking wish Bryan Callen was a Nepo baby.
That'd be nuts.
That'd be the most amazing story arc. If it's like, no, my dad's actually Warren Beatty. I'm sorry. Bryan Callen is the bastard son of Warren Beatty.
And Brian's mom.
That's fucking crazy development, okay? But no, to defend Brendan Schaub, as far as knowing that Doctor Doom and Superman were in the same comic book, that was actually awesome. The fact that he doubled down, because usually what happens, you see Brendan Schaub, like, you know, I don't know, he'll say like accordingly instead of accordingly, and then Chris was like, oh, whoa, oh, yeah, ah. And then Brendan Schaub lies and is like, oh, I said accordingly the first time.
Yeah.
But this time, he was like, he didn't do the whole usual, oh, I meant to say Doctor Doom and Iron Man, not Superman. Instead of doing that, he was like, no, I distinctly, and he said the word distinctly like 10 times. He was like, I distinctly, he's like, I pronounced that right. Okay, yeah, let me say it again.
He said it right
I
every
distinctly,
time.
he's like, well, dude, 2 for 2. I distinct 3 for 3.
Dude, if he's actually, you're right. The fact he was able to say that word that right. First, the fact he knows how to use that word properly and said it right each time, he's probably right.
He's probably right. Bryan Callen, though, you know, and what's his for some reason, I don't know, I guess, you know, we get this show done with no one sitting in our editing booth. Mm-hmm. They got an Asian guy and a like Latino girl.
Yeah.
They needed 2 people.
Plus there's the camera guys.
I think it's the same guy.
Oh, okay.
So I think that podcast cringe, as somewhat reliably often so, is wrong. Mm. And Brendan Schaub actually isn't the total clown. And Bryan Callen's an idiot. And what's his name? Fucking Chen?
I don't know who you're talking about.
Who's the guy who sits in for the Schaub show and everything?
That's the Asian editor guy.
Yeah, what's his name?
Asian editor.
He goes to Steven Crowder. He's like, yeah, quarter black Garrett. That's funny, right,
that's
guys?
That's got him. That's how Brian started.
Isn't that funny, guys?
Steven Crowder.
We have not gay Jared, and then we have quarter black Garrett.
Now we have Asian editor. And
again, I don't recall, you know, fucking Brendan Schaub selling his soul to Steven Crowder like Bryan Callen did.
Another good point.
We're all just like, oh, Bryan Callen's. Every one of those videos is always like, oh, Brendan Schaub's a fucking idiot, but Bryan Callen, he's harmless. It's like Bryan Callen is quite possibly the biggest risk to society currently. Okay, 2024 has had presidential assassination attempts, and I think Bryan Callen is more. We should put more resources into that than we are into whatever hell else we're doing in this country. Okay.
He's clearly a monster.
Bryan Callen is the Antichrist.
Yeah, exactly.
And how is his mom going to handle? They're saying you're the Antichrist. He's going to go on to his show, and you know the 11,000, which means what, maybe 10,000 bots. So we'll say, you know, and then probably 500 people who's autoplay. So we'll say the 500 actual viewers of what's the show called, The Fighter and the Kid. I can't remember the dumb name.
For Brendan.
They're there for Brendan. But of the 50 of those people who are fans of Brendan, so of the 50 real-life human beings who do watch The Fighter and the Kid who prefer Bryan Callen, those people, they're going to be like, your mom had to hear what?
The gall of some people.
And then Brian Callen's going to cry about it. But then it's one of those things where, those people are going to make, you know what, I should at least hear what these kids had to say about him. And then they're going to hear, like, oh my God, no, he was totally right. Brian Callen's a fucking loser. Brayden Schaub's way cooler.
But no, actually, here's what's going to happen. Like sometimes Brendan likes to pick on Brian a little bit.
We need more of that, too.
Like, you are the Antichrist, Brian. I've been saying it for years.
Yeah, these kids are right. These kids are totally right. And then he'll be like, the golden hour sucks. The fighter and the kid sucks.
Guys. This is gonna be the Brayden Schaub 24/7.
Yeah,
I'm gonna make that fashion channel.
And I'm gonna call those two guys in Jersey. And they'll be like, yo, guys, dude, let's do a new show together. The three of us.
It'll be the B, the King, the Sting, the Jing, the Sing, the Bing, the Bing.
I don't know if that's gonna go on a shirt. I don't know if that's gonna fit on a shirt very well. We can talk about names later. And then it'll be really cool. So then it's gonna be Brayden Schaub and the brothers Yurasits, and then that's like maybe gonna go on for a solid past the 6 months, just past 6 months. So it's like, damn, this is gonna be an easy breezy year. Then month 7 is gonna be super rocky. And then month 8 will be like back like nothing happened in month 7. But by month 9, that'll be when we've actually been successfully phased out of the show. We've left him high and dry, and then we'll go start our own more successful, like really pop off on our own way, and we'll leave him in the dirt, and never mention him again. And he'll be like, and Brian Callen, the Antichrist, will be there like, in your moment of doubt, come back to me. And he'll have his, satanic grasp on him yet again. And his stupid fucking flip-flops.
Are they like fucking $2,000 a flip-flop?
I don't know, dude. Brian Callen is such a dirty car salesman. It's so sickening. It's repulsive. Okay, Brian Callen is the kind of person to see a single mother and tell an oil change costs $400. And he'll go home, and he won't spend the money on his family. He'll spend it on himself. And, of course, since I made that remark, now Brian Callen's like, oh, my God, he opened up the fucking flood works. Now I have every right to say he attacked my family. He's made one remark roughly regarding my family that wasn't a reflection of my family. It was a reflection of how shitty he thinks I am. And I'm going to spin that like every other person in Hollywood. He talked about my kids. That psychopath guy who went after Red Bar. Talk about my kids. Talk about my kids. Talk about my kids. It's like, don't have kids then. You don't want them to be talking about, don't have them. Okay, it's that simple. I'm sorry. And Brayden Schaub, like, hey, I say you stop the whole dad shit, right? At least he talks to his kids. What does Brian Callen do? Not talk to his family? Does he have 4 of them? He's like 7 ex-wives. They're like, wow, this D-list actor. I don't know. I could be the next Mrs. Danny Bonaducci. This is awesome. Brian Callen's right here. I can have that same level of success as Danny Bonaducci.
No, it's better though. It's Brian Callen.
I would watch, though, however, the Danny Bonaducci Brian Callen podcast.
Yeah, that'd be probably pretty awesome.
That podcast, they probably bring out the best in each other. And then I'd be here thinking Brayden Schaub's the problem. That's the real golden hour.
It should be the fighter, the kid, and the lid. And then Danny Bonaducci can be the lid.
Why would he be the lid?
He's got the red hair. His lid's different than the other two's.
I'll cut that out, too.
Why? You just don't,
Doesn't make sense.
You don't get marketing, dude, like whatsoever.
Any other comments about Brayden Schaub?
I could say something, but you'll end up
What
cutting
do you want to say?
Anyways. No, I was just being an asshole. I actually don't have anything to say.
Okay, that's pretty shitty of you. That's probably karma right there.
How was that karma?
Remember last night? You went to steal my bowl, and then you're like, all right, I'll be nice. And then I was like, you know what? No, I have to do something. Maybe you can smoke the bowl. And it was redeeming for you.
Sure.
And then tonight, you're like, I have something to say, but I won't say. So then I give you the opportunity to say, and then you're an idiot, you don't have anything to say. It's like, you see how dumb you are? When you do nice things happen. You do dumb things happen.
I have something to say. I said I could try to say something. You'll just edit it out.
No,
anyway.
You didn't say that. You said I can say something, but you're just gonna edit it out anyway.
As in, I can say something.
As in, like, I have something to say, but I shouldn't even do. Dude, you're
I
so.
have to say something. Would imply I have to say something. I have something to say.
The most stereotypical drawing of God up in the sky right now, like the man with the white hair, is doing this right now. He's lying to himself. He's lying to his brother.
Whatever.
Brayden Schaub is, I think he's walked the harsh road long enough. I think he's repented for trying to have sex with Annie Letterman, okay? I think in that same opportunity...
he almost died in that car wreck. The guy's already repented.
And maybe if she had walked him... Butterfly effect. Maybe if she walked him to his car and blew him...
Dude, he's like...
It's a whole other trajectory. He never even thought about it. He never spiraled so far out of control he started a car channel.
He only made that because he's like, dude, she didn't blow me because she knows I know nothing about cars.
You know when they say...
a new car channel.
You know when they say... I'm sorry I cut you off. Fine, so you're going to say you're right.
No, it's not even worth it now. Forget it. I don't care.
You know when they say how the great thing about change is it can happen so slowly over time, you don't realize there is a change until it's already happened, or it can happen so quick in an instant, in a matter of seconds, you're a entirely different person? I think Annie Letterman not blowing Brayden Schaub in his car, right, to blow you, I think her not doing that is actually what set him up. Because you think about it before that, it's like Showtime it likes him, Fox Sports likes him, Joe Rogan likes him. He's doing stand-up comedy. He is touring the country. He's doing international stuff. And then she doesn't blow him. She talks about him. He goes into the whole Tiger Belly debacle. Everything starts kind of go spiraling out of control. And now he's just literally the guy who's hanging out with Brian. Imagine telling him in 2014 he'd still be hanging out with Brian Callen in 2024.
Yeah, he thought he'd hitch his wagon to him for a couple of years.
He thought he would Theo Von Brennan Schaub to Brian Callen.
Yep.
And instead he's hanging out with Chris D'Elia all day.
No, I want it like an 80s ballad. It's the fighter!
It's the fighter and the kid! Oh, God, Sammy Hagar. It's a fighter and a kid!
That's what we need, yes.